to A Fan's Perspective. It's your boy Boogie 45. It's my boy Curtin here. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's time for the fight, baby.
I see you got Ali in the background.
Yeah, it's legendary right there. That's one of my favorite photos of all time, man. You know what I'm saying? My BM bought me that like 8 years ago. I kept it. Classic right there, son. I got
Yeah.
a t-shirt, everything to go with it.
Hell yeah. I see you doing the
I'm a
Queens
big
thing though
boxing
with the
fan, man.
I see you doing the Queens thing though with the bucket hat.
Yeah, you know the vibes. Come on,
Yeah.
son.
My brother stole mine's polo joint.
Oh yeah, the Lacoste shit is the throwback. I just came
Yeah.
back vacation, you know what I mean? So, had the bucket out there. I was out in
Uh,
PR and shit,
I
you
feel you.
know?
I feel you. Nice weather out there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So first topic is Shannon Sharp. We're gonna be taking a focus on Shannon Sharp, this whole situation. I'll play a little
That's why I
audio.
had to take the gloves off for Shannon, man. Black man, come on, son. Come on, son. What you doing? What you doing?
It's crazy, man, crazy. All right, so we're gonna go into this real fast. Let's see what they're talking about here. Fair use.
The Shannon Sharp saga. All right. Disturbing audio of Shannon Sharp exposed. We're going to get into it. Here it is.
Well, what, Gabby?
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do what you did to me.
There is a second.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts so far, man?
Yo, this shit sound crazy. I keep it 100 with you, man. First of all, Shorty sound, I don't know the proper word for it. She sounds slow though. Like, what's going on? Like, she talking shit. Nah, these are dry eyes. These are liquid eyes. She sound like that dude on it. That's one. The conversation, it sound AI edited to me. The way he like pausing and back and forth.
Bro,
I'm
ain't
like,
nothing
all right.
AI edited, bro. This is the evidence right here that they trying to use, bro. AI
Well,
edited,
apparently it
bro.
is true because he had to make a statement, right? I heard he made
Of
a statement
course.
after this. Yeah,
Of
and he said there's
course.
more to the tape and all this. It just sound crazy though. It sound crazy. Then I want to know who was recording the conversation. Was it him? Was it her?
Probably was her.
That's my point too. It's like, bro, she. All right. So was she in it? All right. So was she in a situation that she's trying to get out of, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna have to start building a case against this dude in order to get out of this. That's what you thinking?
Nah, man.
So why
Nah,
would she
man.
be recording the conversation, or do you just think it was Alana? She was just lining them up from the jump.
I feel like this, right? Bring my mic close. I feel like this. Um, First of all, the Shannon Sharp joint to me, it started when people found out he had a gay stylist, right? And the way he was dressing, the way the stylist was putting him together, right? With he had the sweatsuit on, and it was kind of tight, and he a buff dude, and then he got the man bag on. People was kind of like, yo, you look kind of funny, which is how a lot of these young boys be dressing now these days. But we talking about a man that's like 60 years old,
Yeah,
right?
like he dressing my hey yo.
So people thought because of the gay stylist, they thought that, he might have been somewhat funny or whatever, right? Um,
Yeah.
Suspect, I would say. So now that happens, and then he accidentally goes live, and then he's having sex on a live. You can hear the audio from it, but he said he accidentally went live, right? So people like, okay, did you do that? Did you do that because people looking at you suspect, or did that actually just happen on some like, okay, it just happened out of the blue, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now another thing after that, right? What happened? Then he was getting on he was getting online, with different interviews and stuff like that, and having these conversations about, one of them, he was like, you know how I get down. You heard the audio, you know how I get down. So now it made me think, all right, so did you purposely do that to try to prove that you're not suspect? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you talking about when he was smashing
Yeah,
and
and
the
the
audio
audio.
came out
Yeah,
and Shorty was hollering all that.
yeah. So did
Yeah,
you
I,
do
that
that?
that that to me sound like a ploy.
Yeah, so did you do that to show that you a straight man? You know what I'm saying? And then so now boom, after that, you get on there and you get to talking about you like to deal with younger women, this, that, and the third, whatever the case may be, right? Now you lining up to do this big deal with ESPN, right? And one of the shorties that you had a consensual situation with, right? Allegedly, right? Said that you allegedly did, you know, essay or whatever, right? Um, and then some of this, like one of the tweets I read from earlier was when she was like, she told him to use a rubber before he did what he did, and he purposely did it without that, and she felt like, yo, you violated me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Because I
wow.
asked you to use protection and you didn't use protection, right? Now, this is my thing, right? People say, they offered her 50 mil, she turned it down. They offered her 10 mil, she turned it down. She want 50, right? He about to get this $100 million deal, right? So my thing is like this. You went out of your way to prove that you a straight man to the point where you jeopardizing your whole $100 million deal, right?
Not only
And
that, his integrity, I mean his legacy, everything. That's
yeah,
a
because
stain that don't go away.
even if it's a fake claim, right? Even if it comes out to
Mm-hmm.
not be true, the damage is to your
It was already
reputation is
done.
already done, right?
Yeah, that's irreparable. You can't reverse that.
But you've been dealing with a lot of these big companies for years now, right? So you know how they get down. You know they can't take the bad press. So why would you why would you be all out on camera with it, and you know that these companies kind of want you to walk a straight line in the public eye? You know what I mean? Because ESPN is owned by Disney. You feel me?
Yeah,
So it's like
that's
they
Children's
need
Network.
they need you to walk a straight line in the public eye, right? So because look at was it Gilbert Arenas that got let go? I don't think it was him. It might have been somebody. It was another basketball player that got let go for having strippers on the live.
Oh wow,
You don't
wow.
remember? It was
Nah,
a
I don't remember that. That's
I
crazy,
know him by
man.
face. I gotta look him up. I know him by face, but he got let go for having strippers on the live.
Yeah,
You know
see
what I mean?
when you got a big bag pending, especially companies, corporations, you under high scrutiny. Like they watching you, leading up to the contract, even after that. I mean, now they got full control over you, even though you think you got all the liberties in the world, but you really don't.
You don't.
You know what I'm saying? So they could pull that reality from you within a second. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And the sad part about it is that this happens to a lot of, I'm not just say brothers, it happens to men, period. My mechanic told me one time, I was getting my car fixed. It's this relevant, but not relevant. In a sense, he's like, yo, which one is it? And I was like, what you talking about? He said, is it pussy? Is it alcohol? Or is it gambling? Which one is which one is it? I was like, why what are you saying? He's like, which one's your poison? And I'm like, nah, none of those are my poison, man. He's lying, man. Because the only reason why I said that shit, because he was like, you gotta fix this, you gotta fix that, and you gotta fix this. And I was like, God damn, that shit's man expensive. He's like, man, nigga, you gotta have some money for your car. So it gotta be one of these other three poisons that you throwing your money at. You know what I mean? But it made a lot of sense in the context of what he was trying to say. He a OG. I mean, God bless his soul, he died, right? But it always stuck me when he said that shit. He's like, yo, which one is it? Is it gonna be box? You know what I'm saying? Or is it gambling or is it alcohol? I mean, which one is your poisons? And usually one of those three is going to take a man out. You know what I'm saying? And then you can replace gambling with drugs, either or, right? But him being a high value, character in this Matrix, you know what I'm saying? He was supposed to be a lot wiser than he was, getting taken out in that route. You know what I mean?
But
He even boasted about it and talked about it, I think, in the press earlier, like, oh, that would never happen to me. I know how to move. I stand next to a woman in the elevator. I don't talk to her. I try not to, you know what I mean? He talked about these things. So for him to get caught up on this, even if it's some role playing shit, bro, like you should have had documentation of her signing something. You know what I mean? It should have been like, it should have been a transactional thing. You know what I mean? Where she knows she's giving the intent to you that yes, that y'all can cooperate and do something like this, man.
but
Because
but but how about if they would have just asked you about your stylist, you would have just said, "Yo, listen, man, I hired a gay stylist because this stylist is good at what he does." You know what I mean?
that too.
So I'm not looking at his sexual preference. I'm looking at the fact that he's skilled at what he does. You know what I mean? And if I say I want a certain look, that's the look. That's the look he's gonna aim for. Do you think, like, my thing is, to me, none of this would have been happening if you would have just stood on that. You know what
Yo,
I mean?
you saying all this built up. This is just like a domino effect.
This is a chain of offense, like a domino effect. Like, you try to go out of your way to prove that you a straight man, to the point where now you letting what you go do in the bedroom be put out there on a public light. And for the companies that you're dealing with, they're not
You're
going
not
for
with it.
that.
You're not.
So if you would have just stood on business from Jump Street, this would have never even been an issue. You know what I
And how
mean?
about it's nobody business, bro? How about that? How about
That
you
that
you
too.
accept? How about you, a man that's, what I'm saying, you heterosexual, and then you might have, they stop people in the world perception of you is like, "Nah, he got to be gay, or whatever." Who gives a fuck? Nigga, you getting $100 million? You know what I'm saying? Doing what you love to do. Let them think what they want to think, bro. You know what I'm saying? Still move professionally and still move cordial. You know what I
But
mean? You
things,
make your one statement and keep it moving.
but things that's not addressed can turn into the truth if it's not addressed. So I would have just stood on whatever the arrangement was. Like, yeah, this is my stylist, yes. And yes, like, he's skilled at what he does. I'm not looking at what he does behind closed doors. That has nothing to do with me. He's skilled at what he does. If I tell him I'm aiming for a certain look, that's what he's gonna achieve. That's what he's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
achieve. You know what I mean?
So you
So
saying that this stems from the beginning of like that time, that what was that, like a year and a half ago, when
that's
everybody was making those accusations about him being, homosexual, and sorry, I used that word, but being, of like that, and he tried to like cover it up to make it seem like he's not, and just to like prove his masculinity even further. So he just dug himself a deeper hole
yeah,
by.
because what are you really trying to prove at the end of the day? Like, because like it's mad interviews where, like, okay, the interview he had with Carisha, you know what I mean? He was talking about
Hmm.
the interview he had with Monique. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? It's like it's like not every, but there was a lot of conversations back to back after that situation that you just kept making sex the topic. You feel me? Not to
Yeah,
say it's the main topic, but you keep scoping on it to try to show, like, yeah, I'm a man. You ain't got to go through all of that. But see, the thing is,
yeah,
I feel like, if you see, this is the thing, right? All right, he was a football player. He won a Heisman before, right?
yeah.
All right, and he
You
was
got to fact check that. I'm keep on. I don't fucking
yeah.
know,
Well,
but
that's something that I seen that was, but
yeah,
okay. So now in in high school, see, this is the thing, when a lot like dudes like that, when they in high school, they usually popular because of what they do
yeah,
for
yeah. These
sport.
are getting the joints. Yeah,
All right, so now you don't really gotta like you don't really gotta work for to date women. They gonna come to you because of what you do. You know what I
hmm,
mean? So you don't really have to use no type of game, no type of, you know, you don't have to have no strategy on how you gonna get these women. We
yeah,
had to have strategies because we didn't have those highlights in high school, right? So we had to have a strategy. So we had to exercise game. We had to go out. We had to
yeah,
date. We
yeah,
had
yeah,
to,
yeah, exactly.
you know what I mean?
Build confidence. Yeah.
it builds confidence and it builds character, right? Now, the fact that you went all the way around the world to prove that you a straight man, why does it matter to you so much that you gotta possibly jeopardize your career? Because you already know how those people get down. So you possibly had to jeopardize your career to prove that you a straight man.
Yeah, that's I mean, at 60 years old too, like bro, you supposed to like I mean, at that
What's
age, he's supposed to learn enough lessons in life for him to make better decisions.
what's
Ah,
going on here? Like, you know what I mean? What's going on here? And then the thing
I
is,
just think honestly, I just think, emotionally he just let the comments get to him. I think he let the public get to him and it started making his head spin. And he's
but
like, nah,
that's
I ain't that, ain't
okay.
that.
But
You know?
these are things that we learn in high school, right? But see, the thing is, if you're popular because you play a sport and then you're getting drafted, you go to college, you know what I'm saying? You're doing your thing, and then you end up in the league. People don't never really express their real self to you because they trying to
Yeah,
kind of
say
stay on
yeah,
your good graces. So
because they you the ticket. So you saying
yeah,
he ain't got no real chips in his armor.
eh,
They push it, ain't nobody chip him. I
yeah,
get you.
yeah.
Mhm.
He never been tested on that level. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
know, because if he did, I mean, he wouldn't be making these decisions now. Listen, it would have stopped right there at my stylist, is gay. Okay, so what?
And he would have clipped, yeah, kept it moving.
So
Yeah.
what? You know what I mean? Like, he's good at what he does. If I want a certain look and I ask him, he gonna aim for that. I hide him because of his skill, not because of his sexual preference. That would have killed that right there. Then you wouldn't have had to go on going to all these platforms to try to, slide it in that you having sex. I mean, most men are
Nah,
having
that's
sex. Like, what we talking about here? Like, you know what I mean?
yeah. Hmm.
So so at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, I feel like you not having those things instilled in you from a youngin, when you get confronted with these situations, it could be something that's high on the line. You not concerned about what's at risk at the moment. You concerned about your ego and how people perceive you more than
Yeah.
anything else. When you could just tell the truth and stand on business, and they either gonna accept it or they're gonna keep it moving. You know what I mean?
All
But that
right.
fire could
Now
have got put out a long time ago, though.
I hear you. So you saying like this was the inception of the domino effect that rolled out to with the chick that the OnlyFans girl,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, and then my thing is like, yo, why you not just doing business with her? Yo, there's chicks that you could pay them to do a whole lot to them. You know what I'm saying? If your money right, and if you know,
My point is
so
that like when I said earlier about it should be transactional. He should just have paperwork signed. Yo, here, I pay for this. You know what I mean? Da da da. And I said, kept it moving. If that's what you wanted out of the situation, you know what I mean? Look, I seen the chick, she's attractive. You know what I mean? All them only for phone fans girls, they're attractive. Yeah, He got caught for the thirst trap. It is what it is. Got caught the thirst trap, boom, it's in there. What I'm saying is
but if you're not
at
thirsty,
six,
nothing bad can happen.
that's facts. That is facts. We make our worst decisions out of desperation, right? Or thirst, right? So he at some point you gotta be able to you gotta have and let's go for all men. I'm not just gonna say for black men. I mean, but you gotta have some sort of form of discipline, man, especially when it comes to sexual activity. You know what I'm saying? Period. You gotta have some form of discipline. I mean, and like I put the guru or the Dalai Lama, you know what I mean? I ain't perfect or nothing like that. But one thing I do know as a man, in my masculinity, I have to learn, or I had to learn, still always constantly learn, to have some form of discipline. And one of those rule of thumbs is that, man, because your dick will get you in trouble, man, faster than your head will. And him being a 60-year-old gentleman, especially what the amount of bread that he got on the table, you know, he should have, he definitely should have. I'm not saying like, look, she legal, 19, but he should have moved accordingly with that. I mean, I definitely ain't getting no role playing shit with nobody. I don't give a fuck if you the same age or not. But not gonna be on the phone in a minute. It's not happening. The minute you talking about me hitting you, choking you, doing all some wild crazy shit that I don't normally do, be done. That's it. It's a
But
wrap. You know what I'm saying?
that's what he into though.
Is
He's
that
he's into
is that
BDSM.
a fact?
That's you know what I'm saying. You know, so
But what is
that's
that? I don't even know what that is.
we gonna research it so you can find out because I don't want to give you know I don't want to freestyle on the definition on the definite answer, right?
That's
Let's
fact. He
go.
really into this. Let me see.
Let me see something. Okay.
BDSM, what is that shit? What does it say? Yeah, it's a variety
BDSM
of
BDSM is a variety of erotic practices or role playing involving bondage, discipline, dominance, submission, sadomasochism, and other related. Let me let me see. Let me
when I
put
say
it.
sexual discipline, I don't mean like this. I mean like nigga, you gotta have some discipline within yourself. Then just be out there swinging. But
Nah, this is like this is you know when they want to get real wild with it. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. So it says
role play involving bondages and other related interpersonal dynamics, given the wide range of practices, some of which may be engaged by people who do. I'm still not
do
seeing what
not
that.
consider themselves practicing BDSM.
Except coaches in the community generally welcome anyone with a non streak who identifies with the community as me.
Yeah,
Cross
it's
dressers.
BD is bondage and discipline. SM is sadism and maso well masochism or something like that.
Watch the
Yeah, so
bomb cloud, man.
you know what I mean.
Bomb cloud.
This was son into. You
I
feel
know
me? Like
someone's into that. No, I mean I look like I ain't knocking nobody, man. If that's what you do, you do. All right.
yeah, like you know,
It is what
but
it
my
is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it as long as that's
but
what you do. But
but
as
my
long as
thing
the
is
both parties are in consent. I mean, but
yeah,
go ahead.
and if you would have stood on your business like with the from the beginning, you could have stopped that in its tracks. Now I'm not saying that couldn't have that this situation couldn't have bit you, you know, and you know down the line, but
Yeah,
it wouldn't have been a track record of you saying and doing. You know what I'm saying? You know,
yeah,
so at the end of the day, so it's like with him now, ESPN is like, yo, listen, you gonna might have to walk that off until this blows over because we don't need the bad press. You know how we get down. You've been dealing with us for years. You know we don't do bad press. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have to sit it down for a minute. And then we'll consider once everything's blown over, then we'll see what's going on from that point. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's like, damn, you
But you
feel
don't
me?
think it's a money grab? I mean, she dealing with that lawyer, the
Of
Bugsby
course it's a
dude.
money grab.
You
But
know
she,
what
if she
I'm
see a
saying?
sucker, she gonna lick it.
Bang, bomba cloud.
You know what I'm
Nah.
saying? Like you left yourself open to get got, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and it's like they use the same tactics all the time too, man. I wouldn't knock it if she was sent to the nigga. I mean, but
But
because
if
they
you
use the
look,
same tactics all the time, bro. You know what I mean,
all right, if you look at let's look at some of the
the
celebrities
greats
that no the celebrities. There's some of the greats that got. I'm just gonna name a
got
few,
chipped
right?
off.
Yeah, like with R. Kelly, right? Let's say for instance, with R. Kelly, you can't have sex with everybody, man. You know what I mean? Like you can't just
Nobody.
you have to have some kind of because it's gonna because it can because you can because
Mm-hmm.
when you if you have let's say you have sex with 2,000 women, right? You're gonna run across somebody that's trying to line you, somebody that's trying to you're gonna run across a sack chaser. You know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
might run across somebody that's evil. You might run across
Mm-hmm.
somebody that practice witchcraft. You might run
Mm-hmm.
across a chick that want to line you up for the insurance policy. You run across these types when you going through so many different women.
Yeah, you in
You
and
know what I'm
out like
saying?
that. You know what I mean,
And that's they take your they take the fact that you like to, you know, deal with a lot of women and they use it against you. They'll
against you.
go
Yep.
pay those women off. Somebody asked me like back in the days, oh, um, you think 60 women got paid off with the Bill Cosby thing? Did you think 60 women got paid off? I said, yeah. How much money?
Somebody
Now,
was
like,
here.
how much money would it cost them? I said 10 grand.
Yep.
10
Look,
grand
look.
to lie, and you ain't even gotta be held accountable, your face not put out there, nothing. And they might,
Yep.
and if they're not rich, they could use that 10 grand.
That's exactly. Back then they used to call it the honey pot, right? They send the honey pot at them. Don't. They wanted to
Yeah.
get somebody. I mean, send a honey pot at them. That's a
Facts.
sweet thing. It's gonna stick. And they
Definitely.
know usually every man's gonna fall, and to lack of discipline to they thick. I mean, excuse my language, but you know what I mean. That can happen. You know what I'm saying? Well,
Yeah.
listen. I don't want to quote Dr. Umar Johnson, man, but this with the Snow Bunny effect.
Where that
You know what I
school
mean?
at,
But
man?
where's
Where that
school
school
at?
at? But
Damn,
go
my
ahead
brother.
though.
He do be making some valid points though. He do be making some valid points. You know what I mean? And but listen, they'll catch you with the snow bunny. Listen, I like the snow bunnies too. They bad and they getting better every day. I see like, yeah, goodness gracious. You know what I mean? But they will catch you with one. They call yays. See you having a yay. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm
And
saying.
they caught son
Ye didn't
with
get
one.
caught. Ye knew what he was walking into. He just decided to play dumb and blind until it bit him in his rear end. You know what I mean? He knew what he was
Or
walking into. He knew what he was
on
dealing with.
his neck. Now, I mean, that
Yeah,
remind
he
me of
knew. He knew what he
the
was
movie
dealing with.
Sinners, man.
Mm.
The movie, you ain't see that shit yet?
No, I didn't.
I ain't gonna get a spoiler alert, man. But yo, listen, Shorty
I'm
in
gonna watch it.
there.
I'm gonna watch it this week though. You know what I mean? So we could,
That's that's literally like the perfect example of it, man. You know what I mean? Like they said, there's nobody had to stick it to the. She bit it. It was over. He was one of them. He was one of them now. It was
Mm.
crazy, man. But it's I can't go too far into because I need you to watch the film before we can actually do a thorough breakdown of like I would say the metaphorical um or the symbolism behind that whole film. You know what I
Facts.
mean?
Facts. I'm gonna
And
definitely check it
and for
out.
those that watch
Shout out to Michael B.
the
Jordan
film,
though. You know what I mean? He definitely done his
nah,
numbers.
yeah,
Great actor.
and right, Kugler, yo, that boy,
Yeah.
phew, he
Yeah.
nice, yo, he nice. He's slowly becoming one of my favorite directors of all time. I ain't gonna lie, because I could tell that he studied the greats. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because of the way he builds a story and he develops a character. That's where he shines at the most to me. You know what I'm saying? And he knows how to capture that eye, man. Like I said, you always gotta have that eye. And I enjoyed the film. Every film that he came out with. I'm saying he gets better and better. This one so far, compared to because Black Panther was my favorite movie ever made, but compared to Black Panther, like it's kind of on that level, bro. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie, because it was just so well thought out,
Yeah.
and the character development and that you got to watch it because once you watch it, then I can go in more
Yeah.
depth
Yeah.
of
We'll definitely
who
cover
where
that.
everybody represents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, this the thing, like with uh, back to Shannon Sharp, right? Just the thing, like, people wondering like what's gonna happen with him moving forward. I think honestly, like, you know, he can still do his thing, but I don't know, depending on how this case goes, I don't know if, ESPN is going to want to rock with him after the situation, because that's just up in the air, right? Now they say homegirl got offered 10 million, right? She turned it down, right? Vlad made a good point the other day. He said, she got offered 10 million, she turned it down. Now she's gonna try to go for 50 million, but at the same time, if he decides to say, you know what, I'm not giving you 50 million, I don't have 50 million to give you. You know what I mean? They're gonna go to
Yeah.
court, and he could dry out, with money in the court case. And now, if that court case turns out, you know, in his favor, not only now he can turn around and sue you for damages and defamation of character and all that. Now you could say, well, I don't got no money, so he ain't got nothing to collect,
hmm
but I can leave the debt under your name. So
Yeah, they can put a
whatever money
lean
you
lean
get,
on them.
hmm?
Yeah, they can put a lean on them. I mean,
Yeah.
so whatever
So
money you get,
whatever
they
money
be the
you
first to
get,
collect.
yeah. So whatever money you get, I'm gonna collect it. So, you know, in my mind, she should have took the 10 mil and ran with it. But hey,
Yeah,
everybody's
which for her to go for more, that means she got something solid on, 'em. like
well.
video footage.
I
You know
think
what I'm saying?
the tweet that what I mean that came out where, well, it was a message, on the phone or whatever. The message that came out, and he said, she said, about him using protection, and I didn't like the fact that you just did that without doing that. You feel me? And now you took Because she said, listen, she said, I'm cool with you, doing what we normally do, but I told you to use protection and you didn't do that. You know what I mean? So that's what makes it like, oh man, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
like bro,
know,
like you did. The minute you do something without consent of the other party, it's a
yeah,
wrap,
it don't
bro.
it don't matter.
It
Y'all
don't matter
listen,
what it is.
you
It's
could
a
be
wrap, bro.
you could be about to finish and you right there at the tip and Shorty be like, yo, listen, yo, we gotta wrap this up, man. I gotta get out of here. But ain't no but. It stops right there.
Right there.
Right there.
Yeah. Right
You
there,
know what I
bro.
mean?
That's it, man.
Right there.
But listen, Charlamagne made a point. At his age, man, at 60-something plus years old, you supposed to be. And listen, everybody's journey is different, but he's supposed to be married, have his kids, his grandkids at this point, and just been chilling, bro. You know what I
Honestly,
mean? And
I don't
if you, and wait, let me finish. And like he said, and if you're gonna, well, he didn't say this, but if you are gonna decide to do that, then it shouldn't be transactional. And that's it, bro. That's it.
yeah, I think
Meaning,
that's
like he
like
should, you know what I mean?
yeah, I think that's like the pot calling the kettle black though. Cause Charlamagne was just
Charlamagne.
caught up in a situation like that, where he allegedly dropped a 14-year-old off at a party and
Oh my
something
God.
happened to her. You feel me?
Oh man.
So
That's crazy.
I'm not saying that he ain't got a point, but fam, you got your own stuff you
Yeah,
trying to get past.
you should
You know
kind
what
of
I
like
mean?
be quiet on the subject.
Or at least pull
Being
up,
that
just holler at him behind closed doors if that's the case. You feel me?
yeah, yeah, and
You know?
give him your opinion on that. But Charlamagne, he's on a syndicated radio station, right? And he has a following, so he got to get paid too. So at the end of the day, this is still commerce. So he's still just gonna be out there just putting out news just so he can get paid.
Yeah. I mean,
You know
shout
what I
outs to
mean?
him though. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do, but you know,
Nah,
you ain't without sin either. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you can't. So don't bury the black man. But look, the Shannon situation, man, it happens to a lot of brothers, man. On a lower scale, medium scale that we don't hear about every day. You know what I mean? In corporate, shit,
It
in
does.
blue collar. You know what I'm saying? It happens all the time, nonstop, man. That's why I can't judge the brother for what he did. Yes, it was attractive female. He got caught out there. It's just brothers, just move smarter, man. If you're in a high position and you know that you had the leverage, meaning like you high up there and it can be taken away, just move accordingly, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
gotta don't take the time to get that post nut clarity and have pre clarity. You know what I'm saying? And think about like, all right, where I'm gonna take this at, what I got to lose. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's not worth it, man. It's really not worth it. I mean,
Nah, for
and
sure.
I hate to see Shannon go out like a sucker. You know, his legacy get torn down like this. You know, but he gonna be all right. That nigga, he got way more. He got more money than a little
Yeah,
bit. He be all right. You
yeah,
know
he
what I mean?
definitely gonna be all right. But I mean, hey, we'll, I'll keep up with it as it goes along. But it's just like I like the show that he had. The podcast was fire. You know what I'm saying? The one with
Yeah.
Cat Williams, and then he had, I like
Nah,
I
that
like
was
the
hard. It
I
kicked
like the
off the year
guests.
great.
Yeah,
I
definitely,
mean, it was good. But yo,
definitely. Listen, where can they find you out?
you can find me at?
Yeah.
Now I can promote it yet because I got a new project coming out,
Okay.
and I designed eyewear for everybody out there. I got a new project coming out. It's
Okay.
gonna drop. It's called the Invictus Project,
Okay.
and I'll drop on the next joint. Just stay tuned. I'm gonna
Okay.
have them on, and then we talk about it. I mean,
Okay.
and I'll
All
let you
right.
know what we got. All
All
right.
right. So we link up again, man. We're gonna cover sentence. I've been and watched it by then. You did?
Now for sure, you listen. I appreciate you. You know, holla at
For
me, man. You
sure.
know how to pop up, show up. You know what I'm saying? I like the little background you got going on there and all that.
Hey, I'm
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
trying over here.
You
I'm
know what I mean? You
trying.
doing good, man. Look good, man. Proud of you, brother.
Yeah, man. Good
You already
looking.
know.
All right.
All right, the one.
All right, we out of here.
Black man. Shit it, man. Stop playing games, man. Stop playing games, man.
For sure.
Yo, what?
All right, peace.